Hi, my name is Amelia Morgan, and I'm currently a student at the University of South Florida. At the University of South Florida, I major in mechanical engineering and I picked up a minor in entrepreneurship. Now that you kind of know who you're talking to, let's move on to the important part, creativity. Whenever I think of creativity, I think of ideas that have not been shown or creating something of your own design. As stated in one of the readings, creativity is a unique human characteristic that allows us to better respond to external changes, such as technical advancement, social developments. Those words can be found on page 19 of Creativity Rising. At first glance now, I used to think of creativity as what myth 1 and 2 states. Now, let's talk a little bit about these myths. Myth 1 states that basically creativity only exists through art. I can admit, when thinking of creativity, I think of paintings and crafts. And I think of art class in elementary, in middle school, when you're making all these different projects. When I think of those things, that's what creativity comes to mind. Now, myth 2. Myth 2 states you're either creative or you're not. You know that saying where you're either left or right brain? Well, that's kind of what I thought about creativity. I used to think that creativity you can only be born with that, or only people who think that way has that type of creativity. But after reading different outlooks through this book and through the modules, it has brought up a new perspective of what creativity really is. Another thing that helped expand my idea of creativity is using the pillars. The specific pillar that helped expand my definition of creativity was number 4. Pillar 4 states creative products and services, and what that means to me is what you take something that you come up on your own. Your idea, your creative design, and you bring it into real life. Another pillar that expanded my idea is pillar number 2, which is creative environment. Creative environment is so important because you're surrounded by things that bring out your inner creativity. You know, a lot of people just go to art rooms. I personally used to go to our DFX lab. There, you'll see a whole bunch of engineers working out what they do. And, you know, sometimes I'll go to each one of them and be like, hey, what are you building? What are you designing? What year are you? What class are you in? You know, it's so important to not only build your connections, but also to see how people's ideas from different perspectives, you see how people's ideas, creations, how they turn into something real. One time I went to the DFX lab and I saw someone creating a whole weight holder. Yes, a weight holder out of wood. And at first I thought it was a bridge, but I had to ask because the curiosity was just killing me. And like, you know, if I didn't see the DFX lab, I would have never been like, hey, nobody would do that or built that. Which brings us back to why the environment can push our ideas into our brains that you might not get out of sitting in your room or sitting in your library. Now, one way I can apply my creativity to life is through both mechanical engineering and entrepreneurship. You can use creativity to design a product or even invest in a product that you think stands out from the rest. Personally, whenever I have to embrace my creativity, I always try my best to make it happen. Some of my creative skills that I will need in my future career are decision making, communication skills, problem solving skills, and teamwork skills. Especially in one of my past engineering classes, we learned through teamwork projects that you need to be able to make decisions on a quickly timing, just because in the future, at least for an engineer, when you have projects, you're not gonna have all the time in the world. You're gonna have a strict time, so you're not gonna be able to take a long time to come up with a decision. Also, you're going to need communication skills, because if somebody is saying an idea and you personally know that something's wrong with that, or you just don't feel good about it, or maybe you like that idea and other people don't, communication skills is important because you can elaborate on your insight and what you think. And problem solving skills, if there's ever like a confusion, miscommunication, an issue in your product, you're going to need problem solving skills to figure out a solution. And teamwork skills. In engineering, in college, in general, you're always going to have some sort of teamwork you're going to need to do. And it's so important to build those skills because not only is it good to be a leader, but it's also good to be a teammate because you build a support system, you build something that's not just you. A way that I use creativity outside of my future career is through one of my hobbies. As a car enthusiast, I have made a page for my car. And through that page, I try to make videos that will make good interactions and popularity to my account. It's so important to catch on to new trends and it's overall just all about what's trending, what's on everybody's mind. And if you think about it, you can apply that to the real world because things that you're making, projects that you're making, you want everybody to look to it. So if there's change, you should just change with it because otherwise you'll end up like Blockbuster. Innovation is every day. I always thought of myself as somewhat creative just because I've been taking around. However, moving forward, to embrace more creativity, I've decided that my research connections, hands-on experience all need improvement. And to go on more in detail with that, my research not only does in-person viewing other projects, but also what online has to say about it. And connections, it's so important to know other engineers or know other entrepreneurs because you'll take on their tactics and grow with them. And sometimes you'll, like I said, take on their tactics, learn from them. And hands-on experience, some people can only learn when you actually do it for yourself or when you see it for yourself. So having those things all build improvement. Having more experience and seeing what others can come up with will help my brain brainstorm and think outside the box. Now, as I approach the end, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys see my perspective of creativity. I also wanted to mention that all my information was taken from the Creativity Rising book and from the modules and what is creativity on the Canvas page.